and welcome back to Toy Photographer. Today we're going behind the scenes and from Pop to Photo of Chewbacca number 300, which is a Smugglers Bounty exclusive. So this one being a celebrated Funko Pop from the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back theme of that Smugglers Bounty box. It came with a Chewbacca with the little oxygen mask from when they were inside the space slug looking and finding the Minox connecting to the Millennium Falcon. So what we did is we got the backdrop to kind of fit that mood and that scene. So we have a backdrop from when the Millennium Falcon had landed and opened up so they can go investigate and what was going on with the Minox while they're inside the belly of that space slug. So it has a lot of fog and steam, really moody, perfect for what I needed. So we dropped that in the background, it's gonna be slightly out of focus. We've got Chewbacca with the mask here, and we wanted to kind of start that and kind of match the lighting and the mood that we see in our background image. So again, we started with a hair light coming up and over, and we could see how that really kind of carves out a lot of the fur and the details here in Chewbacca. And that's one of the things I've said many times in some of the previous videos photographing Chewbacca retro, or when I had to photograph Chewbacca for Life Day, or the original chrysanthemum versus the newer chrysanthemum, which is all vinyl. The flocked are great to collect, but for me photographing, I like the detail and the highlights and shadow I get from the actual vinyl material itself. So very excited to get this one done. So starting with that top light, as you can see, we were getting all that, the hair and all those nice lines there in Chewbacca. So I then added a second lume cube here. Again, another diffused kind of globe on that. It's coming up from low to high, so you can see it's really kind of picking up just a little bit. I don't want to throw it so far in there and really kind of make it so bright, but just enough because I want to get some of the details there, as you can see, in the eyes and stuff like that, here in the fur, in the front of the bowcaster, okay? So the third light we added, I wanted to come across, really want to highlight and kind of get some more detail in our little rubber goods hose here, and also add some highlight to the bowcaster, because it's kind of falling into this like dark kind of void. There's nothing really giving a contrast or shape or detail. So we add a third light in there, skimming across. As you can see, it really hits our soft goods hose because it's clear and backlit a little bit. We get a little more detail, and we get a nice highlight highlighting the bowcaster, really giving it some separation, some detail to make out what it even is he's holding in his hand. We then from that added a fourth lume cube, again more of a separation and rim light, and again trying to fit the mood and the situation that we have here. We've got all that mist and fog kind of backlit by the lighting in the actual scene. And we also wanted to mimic this light. Again, it's situational lighting, mood lighting, whatever you want to call it, but we're really trying to mimic what we have in our shot. So for this one, I put a diffuser and a red gel on the snoot. We have this one here in the backdrop. And what's nice about that, we get a nice little bit of red coming from what appears, it looks like it's the light coming off from the ship, hitting Chewbacca here. And we get a little more red in that black area of the mask. Again, black being very dark, and it's really trying to saturate that color. We're gonna probably lighten that up a little bit so it kind of matches more of the light that we're seeing here and the rest of Chewbacca there. So that is really how we kind of combined a background using a virtual backdrop with an image of the Millennium Falcon inside the Minox, inside the belly of the space slug, the Minox floating around. We have our Chewbacca with the oxygen mask, Funko Pop here in the front, looking very cool, really cool pop, very underrated. If you don't have this to your collection, definitely go out and see if you can see getting this one, because it's pretty cool. But combining our 5-light setup, use of the iPhone and lume cubes, we were able to create this really cool image. The other thing that I mentioned is having it backlit. I was able to use what I call a little nano mister. As you can see, having that light backlight this, it really kind of adds a little bit more. So while we were shooting this image, I kept this moving around so I can get a little more of that fog in the image. So what I'll probably do is take 2 images, a final image where it's, you know, very clean, no mist, no fog, and ones that I've added this nano mister and fog into it, so we can see if we can kind of be a little more selective of what areas we're going to show, because I don't mind if this goes a little, the background goes a little bit softer. There's a little more mist or fog, kind of softening the focus in other areas while still keeping Chewbacca and his mask and maybe his bowcaster really kind of where you can actually see and make out what it is. So That's how we're going to create this image. If you like this type of content, please hit that like button, click the subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode of Toy Photographer. Until then, may the force be with you.